All right, let's just jump right into it. Today, we're going to unpack a truly fascinating and honestly kind of terrifying battle between human ingenuity and, well, the relentless forces of nature. We're looking at Kansai International Airport in Japan. Now, this isn't just your average transit hub. It's a monumental feat of construction, built with absolutely incredible ambition. But right now, it's locked in a slow-motion struggle for its very survival. As we go through this explainer, I want you to just keep in mind the sheer, literal scale of what we're talking about here. $20 billion. That is the monumental price tag of this airport. I mean, when you invest that kind of capital into a single project, your expectations for its longevity are understandably sky high, right? You expect permanence. But as you're about to see, even $20 billion cannot buy you immunity from the ocean. This massive financial investment really sets the stage for our entire explainer today, because the stakes here, they're at an absolute premium. So the master plan was incredibly grand. They built an artificial island entirely on reclaimed land right smack in the middle of Osaka Bay, specifically designed to rise safely above the water. Engineers dumped massive amounts of soil onto the soft seabed, basically expecting a highly stable foundation. But the reality is a stark contrast. The ocean is actively taking it back, and it's happening way faster than anyone ever anticipated. It is a classic, real-time tale of man versus nature. Part 1, the foundation's fatal flaw. Now, what's totally wild about this is that despite proudly opening to the world back in 1994, with the grand ceremonies and the ribbon cuttings and the whole shebang, the very earth beneath the airport was already failing on day one. Literally day one. Just think about that for a second. You have this massive celebration of a $20 billion achievement, and yet right underneath the feet of the very first passengers, the ground was already giving way. The sheer weight of this artificial island was immediately compressing the thick layers of soft clay beneath the seabed. This wasn't some issue that crept up decades later from wear and tear. No, this was a fundamental geological problem from the very start. The original engineers definitely had their predictions, but reality completely shattered them. They severely miscalculated how fast the seabed would consolidate. In just the first 10 years, parts of the island dropped more than 8 meters. 8 meters! To put that into perspective, that's roughly the height of a 2-story building. Just imagine the ground beneath a massive international airport dropping by the height of an entire house in a single decade. It completely defied all those initial projections and instantly turned a triumph of engineering into an urgent, ongoing crisis.
Part 2, the endless battle against the ocean.
Once the engineers actually realized this massive rate of sinking, their response had to be equally monumental. We're talking about decades of absolute, nonstop work by dedicated engineering teams. It is a desperate, continuous fight. They're constantly reinforcing the foundations, even physically jacking up the support columns of the terminal buildings just to keep them level. And they are literally pumping millions of cubic meters of sand beneath the facility to try and displace the water in the clay and slow the whole process down. It's an endless game of catch-up. And yet, despite all of this relentless work, the airport just keeps going down. Part 3, a race against 2090. The countdown here is pretty grim. From its hopeful opening in 1994 to that shocking 10-year mark where it dropped over 8 meters, the downward trajectory has just remained stubbornly clear. Experts are now warning that if nothing changes, Kansai could be completely underwater in about 70 years, basically fully submerged by the year 2090. We aren't talking about minor flooding here. We're talking about complete and total submersion. A $20 billion piece of critical infrastructure just swallowed by Osaka Bay. It slaps a very specific and very alarming expiration date on this entire endeavor. But why does this all matter right now? Well, it's the immediate human scale of the issue. Millions of unaware travelers still rely on this sinking island every single year. For now, it's business as usual. Millions of people check their bags, they grab a coffee, they board their flights, completely oblivious to the fact that they're standing on an artificial island locked in a desperate daily battle against the sea. It really highlights this incredible disconnect between our daily routines and the massive, precarious engineering that's literally keeping our modern world afloat. So as we wrap up this explainer, we're left with a pretty haunting question. Is this $20 billion marvel gonna simply vanish beneath the waves? Because despite the sand, the constant hydraulic jacking, and all that tireless work by engineers, the ocean has time on its side. It really forces us to wonder about the ultimate limits of what we can build and what actually happens when we try to claim land that the sea is just determined to take back. Keep that in mind the next time you marvel at a massive modern structure. Thanks for joining me for this explainer. And as always, keep questioning the world around you.